The stars above Sector 9 were quiet. No wars, no strange movement, no hidden signals. For years, this part of space had remained peaceful, guarded by the Viren Circle, a group of powerful alien races that kept order across the eastern zones. Then, the signal came. It started as a soft ping, barely a whisper. One of the older scout towers on the edge of Elros 5 picked it up, a strange energy pattern, unlike anything in the database. The tower's AI flagged it, sent the data to command, and shut itself down from confusion. In the command deck of the Tar-El Empire, Admiral Jork was reading reports when a red alert blinked on his screen. A known vessel detected. No registration, no recognized engine trail. Jork narrowed his eyes. He tapped the screen. The ship wasn't veering, not from the outer rim, and not from the ghost sectors. It didn't even move like normal ships. It slowed when it should have drifted. It curved around gravity like it didn't care. More reports came in. The ship was heading directly toward the moon of Elros 5. Jork stood up from his command chair and barked an order. "Wake the council. Tell them, it's them, the humans." The room froze. The word human hadn't been used seriously in centuries. Long ago, they were just a rumor, wild, short-lived creatures from the distant blue world, called Earth. Some said they destroyed themselves, others said they vanished by choice. But one thing was clear. If a human ship had truly returned, it wasn't by accident. Across the galaxy, the panic began. The Viren Council called an emergency meeting. The high speaker of the Zhou people snapped his claws against the table. "We agreed Earth was gone." The Oko diplomat replied with shaking hands. "We never confirmed it. No one came back alive from that sector. You remember what happened to the scout fleets." Old memories returned like fire. The Silther Empire had tried to invade Earth once. They sent 3 dreadnoughts. None returned. The records showed only one message, sent seconds before they disappeared. One voice, clear and human: "You shouldn't have come." That was 800 years ago. Since then, Earth was marked as forbidden space. No one visited. No one dared to. Now, one human ship crossed into their territory, and it was heading deeper with no fear, no hesitation. The council asked a single question. What do they want on Elros 5? The locals noticed the changes first. Trade routes paused. Patrol ships appeared in the skies. Satellites tracked every movement. The moon's security grid was powered to full strength, something that hadn't happened in decades. Still, the ship came closer. It was long and narrow, with strange silver plates across its surface. No weapons were visible. No escort ships. It looked old, like a relic from forgotten wars. But the engine glow pulsed with something different, something advanced. In the control tower, a young alien named Ril was working night shift. When the landing alert came, the ship was landing, right on the edge of the open port zone. No permission, no communication, just silent approach. "Do I send a welcome signal?" Ril asked, joking. No one laughed. Everyone stared at the screen as the ship touched down on the dusty landing strip. A soft cloud of moon dirt rose and fell. Then the ramp lowered. A single figure stepped out. He wasn't tall. He wasn't armored. He wore a dark coat, boots, and had a simple pack over his shoulder. His face looked calm. No fear, no pride, just a quiet kind of focus, like someone used to walking alone. Security bots rolled out. 10 of them circled him, their weapons charged. The man raised his hand slowly. "I'm not here to fight," he said. His voice echoed through the translator bots. "I'm just looking round." The bots paused. Their threat sensors gave strange readings. No weapons detected. No hidden bombs. His neural scan? Unreadable. They couldn't even identify his species, but every visual scan matched one word. Human command was notified. Tar-El officers scrambled to contact the council. Alien ships in orbit adjusted their aim across the moon. Screens turned on to broadcast one single image. A human had landed. His name, according to the port registry he signed later, was Tom. Just Tom. When asked his purpose, he simply wrote exploration. When asked his origin, he wrote Earth. When the clerk reading the registry dropped the pad in shock. Tom simply smiled and said, "It's been a long time, huh?" The clerk didn't answer. Word moved faster than light across the veering systems. Officials prepared for the worst. Weapons were powered. Borders were locked. Spies were sent to Elrose 5. But while the galaxy panicked, Tom walked the streets of the Moon City like a tourist. He asked for coffee at a vendor stand. The vendor, a four-eyed XARN, just blinked and said, "We have juice." Tom nodded. "That'll do." He sat on a bench, looked at the stars, helped an old worker carry a heavy part, said thank you every time. To the locals, he looked like a visitor. To the leaders above, he looked like a weapon in disguise. Back in the council chambers, the debates turned into shouting. "He's here to study us," shouted the Renner General, "to see if we're weak." "He's just one man," argued the Zhelt leader. "One ship, no weapons." "He is the weapon," said Admiral Jorg quietly. "You don't remember what humans were capable of." He placed a data chip on the table. It played old, grainy footage. Human ships twisting between stars. Human soldiers lifting loads 10 times their size. Human engineers turning scrap into weapons. In minutes, the last line of the footage made everyone fall silent. Humanity doesn't need numbers. It needs only one thing, a reason. Now, one of them had returned, and no one knew his reason. Tom walked through the city of Elrose 5 like he had all the time in the world. He didn't rush. He didn't hide. While fleets waited in orbit and spy, drones circled above, he moved like a man on vacation. His eyes scanned every building, every face, every open alley with quiet interest. Some aliens avoided him, others froze and stared. But Tom never reacted with fear or pride. He just smiled, gave a small nod, and kept walking. On his second day on the moon, he entered the lower repair district. It was a place full of broken cargo haulers, outdated droids, and rusted machines. He walked into a workshop where an old mechanic named Naro struggled with a bent cooling pipe. "Need a hand?" Tom asked. Naro blinked. "You understand our language?" Tom nodded. "Translator chip works well enough." Naro stared at him. "You're the human, aren't you?" Tom didn't answer right away. Instead, he picked up a tool and studied it. "I know this type. Old torque grip. You're using the wrong size." Before Naro could stop him, Tom twisted the pipe open and slid a piece into place. The cooling system came to life with a quiet hum. Naro stepped back. "How did you know that?" Tom shrugged. "I've fixed worse." Word spread fast. The human had entered a repair shop, worked without pay, and left without asking for anything. He didn't threaten anyone. He didn't demand anything. That made people even more nervous. In the high tower of the Veering Council, panic deepened. "He's walking around like he owns the place," said the Oko minister. "This must be a test." "A test for what?" asked the Renner General. "For weakness," replied Admiral Jorg. "Humans watch before they strike." "But he hasn't done anything violent," the Zhelt speaker pointed out. "That's what makes it worse." Jorg said. He opened a holo feed showing Tom buying food, helping a lost child, and fixing broken power panels on the street. "This is the same species that defeated the Silther, who fought wars across 3 systems without losing a single fleet. Why is he walking through our cities fixing pipes?" No one had an answer. Back on Elrose 5, Tom visited the local market. He looked over alien fruit, tasted a strange blue drink, and watched a group of young winged children play a running game. One child stumbled, crying. Tom knelt and helped her up, brushing dust from her arm. "Careful next time," he said kindly. The child's mother watched from a distance, unsure if she should thank him or run. Tom didn't wait. He turned and kept walking. Later, he entered a tech shop. A machine inside was sparking. The owner struggled with it. Tom pointed at the panel. "May I?" The owner hesitated, then stepped aside. Tom worked for 2 minutes. The sparks stopped. The machine powered on. The shopkeeper stuttered. "How did you know the system?" "It's Karn tech." Tom stood up. "It's not too different from old Earth gear, just shinier." The aliens around him realized something strange. Tom didn't look amazed by their machines. He looked familiar with them, like he had already seen better. That thought scared them more than any weapon. The Veering Council decided to act. They sent a diplomat to question Tom directly. Her name was Drell. She was tall, cold, and trained in 20 forms of negotiation. She met Tom at the open food court near the cargo docks. She sat across from him. He was drinking a warm cup of juice. "You're human," she said calmly. Tom nodded. "So I've heard. You came without permission. I didn't see ya. Sign saying keep out. You realize your presence has caused unrest. I didn't ask for attention." Drill leaned forward. "Why are you here?" Tom looked around. "I wanted to see what the galaxy became." Drill frowned. "What do you mean?" Tom set down his cup. "Earth is gone. Long gone. We burned it, fought over it, killed each other for it. Then we left, scattered. Some went deep into space. Some never returned. I was born on a drifting colony, never saw Earth myself. Then why come back? To see if anyone else learned what we didn't." Drell paused. She wasn't sure if it was a lie, a trick, or something else. "What do you want from us?" Tom smiled. "Nothing. I've had enough of taking." Drell stared into his eyes. They were calm. To calm. "If you're lying," she said, "our fleets will not hesitate." Tom didn't blink. "I believe you." He finished his drink, stood, and walked away. Drell sat in silence. She had come expecting a spy, a threat, a conqueror. What she found was worse. She found a man with no fear. In orbit. Military commanders grew restless. "He's walking through our systems like it's a park. We need to test him, push him, see what he'll do." Admiral Jorg sent a covert order. A test was coming, but it would not end the way they hoped. That night, Tom sat alone near the spaceport. He looked up at the stars, the same way people on Earth once did. He held a small round object in his hand, an old metal coin, faded with time. A local janitor walked past, curious. "Is that from Earth?" Tom nodded. "Yes, one of the few things left." "What does it say?" Tom handed it over. The alien read the faded letters out loud. "To look beyond the stars and remember where you came from." The janitor gave it back with respect. Tom said, "That's all we forgot in the end." He stood up and walked away into the night. Behind him, the stars kept shining, silent, watching. But nothing was more watched than him, and nothing made the galaxy more afraid than the man who asked for nothing, because deep inside, they knew humans rarely came without purpose. The Veering Council had not met in full assembly for 20 years, but now all seats were filled. Representatives from every major species stood inside the circular chamber, tall insectoids with glowing eyes, cold-blooded warlords with armor shells, and soft-spoken diplomats with floating translators. A large view screen behind the center showed a still image of the human. Tom walking, smiling, fixing broken machines in the streets like a local worker, buying juice, helping children, never asking for anything, never demanding. And still, he was feared more than any warship. High-speaker trend of the Zhel people struck the floor with his staff. The sound echoed across the hall. "We can no longer delay. The human walks among our citizens. The population is confused, afraid. Some even call him a friend. This must stop." Admiral Jorg stood from the Tar-L section. His voice was calm, but his eyes were sharp. "I warn you the moment that signal arrived. A human never comes by accident." The Oko diplomat, old and wise, floated slightly above his chair. "He has harmed no one," Jorg replied. "Not yet. But have you forgotten history?" He waved a hand. A hologram appeared, old, grainy footage of a destroyed fleet, ships spinning in silence, hulls broken, energy signatures melted. This was the Silther invasion fleet, sent to Earth 800 years ago. 3 flagships, 5 battle groups. Not one survivor. He showed another clip, human soldiers walking through toxic gas, carrying injured civilians, building bunkers with speed no machine could match. Humans do not win through numbers. They win through fear, speed, and chaos. One human can destroy a city, and now one has landed here. With no fleet, no army, just a smile. Gasps spread across the chamber. Some species looked at each other with worry. Others nodded. But he has done nothing to attack, said the Zorn scientist, Mila, stepping forward. He helped our people. He repaired broken tech. He shows no interest in war. Jork stared at her. That is exactly why he is dangerous. On Elrose 5, Tom continued to live like a traveler. Each morning, he walked the edge of the port, watched the sky, and drank a hot liquid he called morning brew, mixed from local herbs and spices. He helped an old vendor rebuild his broken stand. He cleaned the dust filters of a rooftop battery station. He made no demands and answered few questions. People began to trust him. Children waved when he passed. Locals brought him food. Some even asked him for advice on machines. He always helped, but the spy drones watched everything and in the shadows. Agents whispered to each other, "This isn't right. He's too kind. He's hiding something." The council could no longer agree. Some wanted to welcome him. Some wanted to eliminate him. Arguments filled the chamber for hours. "He is one man," shouted the winged ambassador of the Kaleri people. "Are we truly so weak that one human shakes our entire alliance?" "We are not weak," Jork answered. "We are wise, and wisdom says, act before danger grows." The Oko elder raised his hand. "Then what do you suggest, Admiral?" Jork's voice was firm. "We test him." A cold silence followed. That same night, Tom sat on the rooftop of a supply building. A small light hovered beside him, showing a map of the city. He zoomed in on a section marked Old Docks and smiled. "There's a broken relay there," he said to himself. "Might be worth checking." A soft beep came from his wrist. He pressed the screen and frowned. Interference. He stood, looking at the sky. Something wasn't right. Across the street, a local boy named Fair ran toward him. "Tom, you need to come." Tom climbed down fast. "What happened?" Fair pointed toward a cargo station. "My sister got trapped inside a power chamber. The door stuck." Tom followed without a word. Inside the station, he found the girl, small and shaking, behind the steel wall. The control panel was fried. He checked the wires, traced the problem, and worked fast. His hands moved with skill that surprised even himself. In 2 minutes, the door opened. The girl ran out and hugged her brother. Tom smiled, trying not to play near old generators. But as he turned to leave, he noticed something strange. A black sphere floated in the corner. It blinked once and vanished. He narrowed his eyes. Someone's watching. Back in the council, Jork received the report. The test failed, his officer said. "What do you mean?" "He helped a child." Then he noticed the drone and didn't run. "He's not reacting." Jork leaned back. "Then it's time for Phase 2. On Elrose 5, rumors grew. Some said Tom could speak to machines. Others claimed he walked through a fire once and didn't get burned. A worker told his friend, "My generator worked better after he touched it. He didn't even fix it, just touch it." Another said he looked at an old broken droid and it powered on. People began calling him names in the street. The Whisperer's silent hand last humans and even whispered, "He's not here to hurt us. He's here to warn us." But warn them of what? The next morning, the council held a private vote. Should they arrest him? Should they destroy his ship? Or should they leave him alone? No side won. The council broke apart. For the first time in history, the Varying Circle had no unity. Each faction made its own plan. The Taurel moved a strike team closer to Yeller OS-5. The Jeld sent a secret agent to speak with Tom. The Kaleri offered to bring him off-world in peace. And the Zorn scientist, Mila, sent him a message directly. "I want to talk. Not as a council member, as a scientist. And as someone who thinks you might not be our enemy." Tom read the message. He stared at the sky for a long time. Then he replied, "I'll talk." He closed the message and whispered to himself, "I hope they're ready for the truth." Rail station floated above the gas world of Narmas 6 like a giant metal claw gripping the sky. It was a trading outpost, built long ago during the early peace treaties of the Varying Circle. Ships from every system docked here. Goods, secrets, and weapons moved through its halls. But it was also a place where criminals made deals, and powerful people looked the other way. This was where the pirates made their move. They weren't ordinary raiders. These ones had been hired, paid in high credits, promised immunity. Their mission was simple. Capture the human. Bring him in alive. Or broken. Tom arrived at rail station quietly. He didn't announce himself. He didn't carry weapons. He stepped off a small shuttle, carrying only a bag and a datapad. He wore the same long coat and calm expression. He had come to meet Mila, the Zorn scientist who had asked to speak with him privately. Her message was simple. I don't believe you're a threat. I want to hear your story. I want to know why you're really here. Tom respected honesty, so he came. Mila waited for him in a quiet section near the observatory dome. The station's large windows looked out across the swirling red clouds of Narmis 6. She had reserved a table at a small cafe. 1 table, 2 chairs. Tom walked in and sat down. You're braver than most, he said. Mila didn't flinch. So, are you? He smiled. Not always. She studied him carefully. He looked like an ordinary man. But she knew better. The scans from Elrose 5 still showed strange results. His mind had signals they couldn't decode. His biology matched old human data, but his cells reacted to radiation in a way no other species could. Are you the only one left? She asked. Maybe, he said. I haven't met another in years. Why did you come back? Tom looked out the window. I wanted to see what the galaxy did after we disappeared. Did it grow better? Did it fall apart? Were we remembered as monsters or myths? Mila nodded slowly. Some feared you, others forgot. Tom's voice turned quiet. For a long time, we were both. While they spoke, the pirates moved. 6 of them entered through the lower tunnels. Timur hid near the airlock. Their leader, a cold-faced warrior named Greg, watched the feed from a control room they had hacked. He pointed at the screen. That's him. He's alone. No guards. Still want him alive. One of his crew asked. Greg smiled. For now. They moved fast. Back in the cafe, Mila noticed something. The lights above flickered. Tom tilted his head. He didn't panic. Instead, he stood slowly and looked around the room. Do you hear that? Mila frowned. Hear what? The sound of boots. Not walking. Running. A moment later, the door burst open. 3 pirates rushed in with stun rifles. The rest came from the sides. Weapons ready. Don't move. One shouted. Mila froze. Tom didn't. He stepped forward, calm as ever. His voice was steady. You don't want to do this. Greg entered behind them, his rifle pointed straight at Tom's chest. We've studied your record. You're fast, smart, and maybe even dangerous. But there are 8 of us. You're not walking out of here. Tom said nothing. Greg raised his hand. Shoot him. What happened next was impossible to explain. The pirates pulled their triggers. Nothing happened. Their rifles made a soft whine, then powered down. Greg stared at his weapon. What? Tom raised his hand. He wasn't touching anything. But every light in the room dimmed. I gave you a choice. Greg growled. What did you do? Tom tapped his datapad once. The wall shook. The pirates' armor locked in place, freezing their joints. One by one, their weapons dropped. I don't like hurting people, Tom said. But I will not be taken. The last pirate reached for a knife. Tom stepped forward, moved his hand across the control panel, and triggered the room's gravity field. The pirate slammed to the ground and could not rise. Mila stood in shock. How are you doing this? Tom looked at her. I speak the language of machines. Back in the council's war chamber, Admiral Jork watched the live feed with cold eyes. He turned to his officer. He didn't use force. He used control. Yes, sir. He bypassed the station's AI and shut down the entire security grid. He spoke to the system. Yes, sir. Like it listened. Jork nodded. He's more than just human. He's learned to command technology. The Oko diplomat, who had watched the same feed, whispered. Then we are no longer dealing with a man. We are facing something new. Mila and Tom walked out of the cafe. The pirates were locked in a holding cell. No one on the station dared stop them. They reached the docking bay, where Tom's shuttle waited. I should leave, Tom said. Mila stepped forward. Wait, tell me the truth. What are you really? Tom looked at her. I'm what humanity became after the fall. We didn't just fight. We survived. We learned. We grew past our old ways. Some of us anyway. Why show kindness, then? Because fear never worked for us, but hope still might. He stepped onto his ship. Before the door closed, he turned back. Thank you for listening. Then he was gone. Rail stations sent out emergency reports. The council scrambled. New plans were made. But something had changed. The galaxy now had a name for him. The Whisperer of Steel. He didn't fight with guns. He didn't burn cities. He simply spoke. And the machines listened. The message came from the Ikari High King himself. It was short, clear, and filled with power. We offer alliance. Name your planet. Name your people. The Ikari will stand with you. The message shook the Virian Circle. The Ikari were known as the galaxy's strongest military force. Their fleets alone could crush entire systems. And now, they wanted to join the human. Tom received the offer on his ship as he drifted near a star cluster. The message was polite but firm. He read it twice. Then, without hesitation, he typed his reply. I am not here to conquer. I am here to explore. The message was sent. News of the offer spread like wildfire. The galaxy's rulers gathered to discuss what it meant. Some saw it as a sign that the Ikari believed humans could be a powerful ally. Others feared it was a trap. The Ikari had always been proud and secretive. Why would they offer friendship to a stranger without a fleet or army? Admiral Jork paced his command room. If the Ikari support him, it changes everything. The Oko elder nodded. And if they are wrong, Jork's eyes darkened. Then war is certain. Meanwhile, Tom stood on the observation deck of his ship, staring at the stars. He thought about Earth, about the wars, the destruction, the endless fighting. He thought about what Mila had said. Fear never worked for us. Hope might. Tom believed in hope. But he also knew that hope alone could not stop a fleet of warships. He had to show them something more. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout his ship. Warning lights flashed red. Tom's hands moved quickly across his console. Outside, dozens of warships appeared in orbit. They were Ikari, but they were not here to help. Their weapons powered up. Tom opened a direct channel. A voice came through, cold and clear. Stand down, human. You are under arrest for unauthorized entry and espionage. Tom smiled faintly. No. He pressed a button. Instantly, the entire fleet went silent. Engines stopped. Weapons shut down. The ships floated like empty shells. The galaxy watched in shocked. How could one man stop an entire fleet without firing a single shot? Reports spread that Tom did not use weapons. He simply spoke commands that machines obeyed. The Ikari High King sent a new message. We seek peace. We do not want war. Tom replied. Neither do I. Back on Elrose 5, the council was in chaos. Is he a weapon, or is he a peacemaker? No one could decide. The Zorn scientist Milas sent a message to the council. He wants to see if we have learned from the past. He is testing us. Admiral Jorg shook his head. Humans are unpredictable. We must be ready. Tom left orbit quietly. No fanfare. No announcement. But everywhere he went, his reputation grew. Some called him the Whisperer of Steel. Others called him the man who stopped the fleet. But Tom remained the same. A traveler. A watcher. An explorer. One day, Mila met Tom again. She asked, why refuse the Ikari? Tom looked at her. They would only follow me if I showed them power. But power without wisdom leads to ruin. She nodded. And what do you want then? Tom smiled. To find a new way, a way to live without fear. The galaxy waited, all eyes watched, and one question hung in the air. What would the human do next? In a small, quiet room on the moon of Elrose 5, Mila sat across from Tom once more. The stars outside the window were calm and distant, but inside, the air was heavy with questions. Mila looked at Tom carefully. I want to understand. Why are you really here? Tom sighed. His eyes held a sadness she had not seen before. Earth is gone, he said quietly. We destroyed ourselves long ago. War, pollution, greed. We never learned to live together. Mila's eyes widened. So you are the last, maybe. Or maybe one of the last. He paused. I was born on a colony ship, not on Earth. I grew up in space, watching stars pass by. I never saw my home planet. Mila listened carefully. Why come back now? To see if the galaxy had changed. To see if others learned from our mistakes. She leaned forward. What did you find? Tom smiled sadly. Some have grown kinder. Some still fight. Some forget. Mila nodded. And the council? They fear me. They want to test me, to control me. But I am not here to conquer. I am here to learn. Mila felt a new respect for him. You carry the weight of your people, she said softly. Tom looked at her. I carry their hope, too. Meanwhile, the council remained divided. Some saw Tom as a threat. Others saw him as a chance for peace. The Tyrell wanted to capture him. The Jolt wanted to talk. The Oko wanted to watch. The Kaleri sent scouts to follow his movements. The galaxy waited. One day, Mila visited Tom's ship. She found him working on the engine, calm and focused. Can I help? She asked. Tom smiled. Yes, it needs a tune. As they worked side by side, Mila asked, what keeps you going? Tom thought a moment. Hope, and the chance to make things better. Mila smiled. Maybe you will. But danger was never far. The Tyrell launched a secret mission to capture Tom. They sent a team to his ship under cover of night. Tom was ready. He did not fight with guns. He fought with machines, using his knowledge. He disabled the attackers' systems one by one. They surrendered without a shot. Tom released them. I did not want enemies, he said. News of his mercy spread. The galaxy began to see him in a new light, not as a conqueror, not as a weapon, but as a leader, a symbol. Back in the council, Mila spoke again. Tom is not what we feared. He is what we need. But many still doubted. The past was hard to forget. The future was uncertain. Tom stood on the deck of his ship, looking out at the stars. He whispered, I will find a way. The galaxy held its breath. The story was far from over. Tom stood on the deck of his ship, the silver surface gleaming under the distant stars. The hum of the engines was soft, steady, like the beat of a calm heart. Round him, the galaxy waited, watching every move he made. The council remained divided. Some wanted to welcome him as a leader. Others saw him as a threat that must be controlled. But Tom had no plans to stay. He was a traveler, a witness to what the galaxy could become. 4 years after his arrival, stories spread across worlds. They spoke of a human who walked alone, fixing what was broken, helping strangers without asking for anything. They spoke of a man who could speak to machines and command them without violence. They called him the Whisperer of Steel. The galaxy began to change. Old enemies talked quietly in hidden rooms. New alliances formed over shared hope. Trade routes opened where once they were closed. Peace treaties were discussed with more care. Children in distant star systems asked their parents about the human who came without a fleet and left with the respect of many. Tom's legend grew. One evening, Mila came to visit him one last time. You're leaving? She asked softly. Tom nodded. I have seen much here, he said, but my journey is not over. Mila smiled. Will you return? Tom looked at the stars. I do not know, but I will watch. He handed her a small device. This holds knowledge. If the galaxy needs me, they will call. Mila held it carefully. Thank you, Tom. You have given us hope. Tom smiled. Hope is the greatest gift. With a soft roar, Tom's ship lifted from the ground. It moved through the clouds, rising higher until the stars surrounded it once again. The galaxy watched as the small ship vanished into the unknown. But Tom's story did not end. Years later, on many planets, people told the tale of the human who came alone and changed everything. Statues were built not of warriors, but of travelers. Children learned of the man who showed kindness in a universe ruled by fear. His name became a symbol of what humanity could be. The galaxy had faced many threats. It had survived wars, betrayals, and darkness, but it was the arrival of one human ship that changed everything. One human ship had arrived, and the galaxy would never forget.